common question that I get as a lawyer here in the community is, hey, Lorenzo, what happens when an officer says that he or she needs to go through my phone? And a question that kind of immediately follows that is, hey, do I have to unlock my phone for an officer? The general answer is no, right? That Fourth Amendment protects you and your cell phone, just like in many instances when you're dealing with other containers that you are being searched for. And unless the officer has a certain amount or a certain number of exigent circumstances, or if you consent in general, the rule is here in the United States is that an officer must have a warrant to search the contents, the interior contents of your phone. So then the question that follows after that is to say, okay, Lorenzo, well, what if they have a warrant? Do I have to actually unlock the phone for them? This is where it gets a little murky. This is where the law is gray. I'm going to give you a very lawyer answer to that question. The answer is it depends. It depends upon which part of the country that you live in. Courts across the country have had different outcomes, different decisions on this particular topic. Some courts in different parts of the country say, hey, if the officer has a warrant, you don't have to give them anything that comes from your head, right? So the actual passcode, or if it's a pattern unlock, you don't have to give them anything when it comes to that. However, that same court would say, well, hey, if it's anything that is biometric in form, such as if it's a fingerprint or if it's face unlock, that same court may say that, yeah, although you don't have to give them anything from your head, if the officer does have a warrant, you have to give them your fingerprint or your face unlock. Why? Because that court has made the reasoning that oftentimes when people are booked and they give fingerprints, or if they are in a police lineup, these type of actions are not testimonial, and they are not to be protected by your protections of self-incrimination in the Fifth Amendment. And so in these jurisdictions, the courts say, hey, you should be, if the officer has a valid warrant, you are required to give them your biometric information, such as your fingerprint or face unlock. However, in other parts of the country, courts have said opposite. They say that not only do you not have to give an officer anything that comes from your head, such as your password or pattern unlock, but they say that that also falls within the purview of protections from self-incrimination in the Fifth Amendment, and which says that then you also don't have to give them anything dealing with your fingerprint or face unlock or any other biometric unlocking device. All that being said is that long lawyer answer to tell you is that essentially in the United States, whether or not you have to unlock the phone for an officer when they have a valid warrant to search the contents of your phone, it really just depends upon which part of the country that you live in. It is incumbent upon you to know your jurisdiction and your jurisdiction's decisions on this particular topic when it comes to court decisions dealing with searching the interior contents of a phone. I suggest you contact local counsel to make sure that you understand all the laws that govern these particular types of situations. So now you know that information, and of course, knowing this type of information saves lives.